It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo parade for 5. What big teeth a hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to Science Bowl, special edition today. Yes, one of today's teams is going to become the third of our 4 semifinalists in this year's elementary school competition, so a lot at stake today. Let's meet today's teams. First, from Whitehall Elementary School, would you say hello to Kurt Schneider, Carlington Wallen, and Henry Cole. And from Woodmore Elementary School, today's players, Jewel Uzoma, Craig Ragland, and Ayush Dobari. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
And here on Science Bowl, our game board shows our question difficulty. Easier questions worth 5 and 10 points there on the left. Tougher ones 15, 20, ultimately 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. And to the 2 rounds today, we will have our third semifinalist joining Rogers Heights and Robert Goddard Montessori. Let's go over and make sure everything is working properly. Carlington, would you try the red team's buzzer? It looks and sounds good. Good luck to you and to Kurt and to Henry, and congratulations on making it to this point in our competition. And Woodmore, congratulations to you guys as well. You guys are terrific. Craig, would you try your buzzer? Looks and sounds good as well. Good luck to you, Ayush and Jewel. All right, are we ready to play this game? Yes. All right, you have that look of determination on your face, yeah. Oh, you guys are great scientists, and you're going to do a great job here today. We go alphabetically, so by just a letter, WH before WO, Whitehall and Carlington, let's play the game.
Okay. Let's get physical for 15, please.
Physical for 15 points. Teams, since table salt and cream of tartar and baking soda will dissolve in water, we call them these kinds of solids. Whitehall?
Water soluble. Water soluble?
Water soluble, absolutely right. Soluble was the key word we were looking for, and that's what we got. Go red.
Science potpourri for 15, please.
Potpourri for 15 points is a multiple choice question. Teams, there is an order of mammals called Proboscideae, and there is just one kind of animal in that order because they have a proboscis. Is it a rhino, an elephant, or a whale? Which of those 3, Woodmore?
An elephant.
An elephant, absolutely. That big proboscis, that trunk, absolutely. Good answer. Go green.
Let's do zoo parade for 15, please.
Zoo parade for 15 points is a visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, if you would, please. This large African antelope, because it has bigger horns and it is a very large animal, it's known as the greater kudu. The smaller cousin is known as this kudu.
A gazelle?
What?
A gazelle?
No. Whitehall, the opposite of the greater kudu, the smaller one is known as this kudu.
Lesser,
absolutely right. Yes, Henry, I had heard you say lesser over there. Opposite of greater is lesser kudu. Smaller horns, not as big a body. Go red.
Body systems for 15, please.
For 15 points in body system teams, if someone goes into the hospital for a gastrectomy, what organ do they take out? Whitehall.
Intestines.
Not the intestines. A gastrectomy is the removal of what organ, Craig?
Pastor Jewel.
The pancreas.
The stomach. The stomach. Gastro was the clee there. Gas is the prefix meaning stomach. Go red. 80 to 65. Lead for Whitehall.
Green things for 15, please.
For 15 points in green things, teams, mangrove trees are said to be halo, H-A-L-O, hydrophilic because they love growing in water that is very what? Woodmore.
Pasteurized.
Very salty.
Salty, yes sir, good indeed. Halo is a prefix that means salt. They are salt tolerant. They don't love it so much, but they're tolerant. Go green.
Let's do zoo parade for 10.
Zoo parade for 10 points. Teams, sometimes words are pronounced alike but are spelled differently. They're called homonyms. What same word, same sounding word, is fish eggs, and also what you do with an oar in a boat? Whitehall.
Row.
Row it is, yes. R-O-E is the fish eggs, and R-O-W is what you do in a boat. Good listening. Go Red.
Body systems for 20, please.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams, you all know what a possum is. A possum's body temperature is so low that the virus that causes this disease, sometimes called hydrophobia, can't be passed along if it bites you. Woodmore.
Pasteurized.
Oh, yes.
Rabies.
Rabies, that's right, another name for hydrophobia. Yeah, a possum bite is usually not of much concern because the temperature is too low for the virus to survive. Okay, 100 to 90 advantage Woodmore. Go green.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25 points. Team, some plants are so rare that they have to be pollinated by hand. So a scientist takes a little paintbrush and gets a few pollen grains on the paintbrush from the male part, the stamen, the anther, and then it takes it over to what female part of the flower?
Pastor Jewel.
The ovary?
More specifically.
The nucleus?
Not quite. Not quite. The pollen is transferred via that paintbrush in this artificial pollination to what other part of the flower, the female part?
Stomata.
The pistil. The pistil is what I was looking for. Look out, the plant's got a gun. It's P-I-S-T-I-L. Go green, no points.
Let's do green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points is a visual question. Look at the monitor if you would, please. And this Amazonian tropical forest is actually in Seattle at the headquarters of Amazon. Jeff Bezos, who owns the company, built these spheres so his employees can go in there and sit and relax. But it's not real uncomfortable because the hygrometer inside that fake forest, it's a real forest really, shows that what is very low inside there. The hygrometer says what is very low in
Humidity.
that rainforest, Woodmore.
Humidity.
Humidity, absolutely right. So who wants to sit in a humid, sticky place? So Mr. Bezos has taken care of that. Good answer, go green. Oh, that buzzer says the first round is over. Boy, it is a tight game. Whitehall is at 90, Woodmore at 110. We'll be back with the second part of Science Bowl in just a moment. Welcome back to Science Bowl. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Here we are on Science Bowl. We're coming to the end of our season, our 32nd year here on Prince George's Schools Television. And boy, the students are always remarkable. We have 6 remarkable students here today, and let's go over and talk to them a little bit. Go to Whitehall. Wonderful school over there in Bowie, a blue ribbon school, a nationally recognized school. Carlington, tell us a little bit about the place. What is it that you really like about going to Whitehall?
I like Whitehall because it has many different clubs for different personalities of people.
Absolutely right, and that means that outside of your academic classes, there are extracurriculars you can get involved in, like Science Bowl. Yeah. Who's your principal?
My principal is Mr. Christian.
Mr. Christian, and I know he wished he could be here today. And you've got 2 coaches, don't you? They're both here. And they're wearing matching shirts that say Science Bowl like you have on, Miss Farmer and Miss Wine, and we'll bring them out in just a few moments here. Carlington, someday what would you like to do?
I would like to be a veterinarian.
Wonderful. And we talked before, I know you don't have any pets, but would you like to have a pet?
Yes.
What would you like?
I would like a German Shepherd.
German Shepherd, yeah, dogs are wonderful, and they really appreciate everything you do for them, and they love you no matter what, every day. Unfettered love from a dog. It's just wonderful. Henry, nice to have you here today. Mm-hmm. Tell us about your love of plants. Do you have any plants? Do you grow anything? Do you have a garden?
Yes.
What do you grow?
I grow cacti.
Wonderful. Yeah, the ones who require very little water,
Mm-hmm.
and they're tough. Instead of leaves, they have thorns out there. And good to have you back here. What do you do in your spare time, Henry?
I draw or I play my favorite video games.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And Kurt, tell me about what you do. You're an athlete. You play soccer, don't you? Do you play for a team?
Yes.
What's the team?
The Bowie Bulldogs.
Wonderful. And tell me what you hope to do someday. Professional soccer player?
No. I kind of want to be a chemist.
Chemist, yeah. Well, you're in the right place here because this is a science show and we're real happy to have you here today. Woodmore, tell us a little bit about your school, Craig.
In Woodmore, it has a lot of good teachers, and the teachers teach you a lot of stuff, and you learn a lot.
That's what schools are for, right? Yeah, learn a lot. Teachers trying to give you all you need to be successful in life, and I know you've got a good place over there. Who's your principal?
Miss Walker.
Miss Walker, and I know she was here earlier. I hope she still is because I know she supports this team very much. And the sponsor of your team?
Mr. Delacerna.
Absolutely. An award-winning sponsor. Took his team all the way to the championship last year with Glen Arden Woods. Someday, Craig, you're going to?
I want to be a pharmacist.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Pharmacology. You're going to have to know a lot of chemistry, you know, and once you do that, almost like a doctor, you know, because you're going to have to read scribble too, because when doctors write prescriptions, only pharmacists seem to be able to read them. Jewel, nice to have you with us today. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I like to read and I like to play games.
Yeah, what kind of books do you like?
I like comedy books like James Patterson.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. And tell me why you wanted to be on this show.
I wanted to be on this show because I saw the thing, and it had like a lot of educational stuff in the form of a game.
Absolutely right. And sometimes this is great because there are ways to demonstrate your skills in sports. Here's a way to demonstrate your academic skills and let people know, boy, I've been doing all the right stuff and I want to show you as you're doing. You're a good player. You're a wonderful player. You're a fourth grader, and tell me how you know so much about science.
Because I have a good science teacher,
Yeah, and who's your science teacher?
Miss Mayo.
Oh, wonderful. That's going to be music to her ears. I hope she hears this. I hope you tell her that. That would make her day, would make her year. What do you want to do someday?
I want to be...
That's right. Well, yeah, we reached this juncture once before, didn't we? Now, we'll take it one step at a time. You're in Woodmore Elementary. Where do you want to go to middle school?
Greenbelt, somewhere there.
All right. How about high school?
Roosevelt.
I knew there was one you had a definite opinion about that. Science and tech school. They'll be lucky to get you someday, young man. All right, let's get back to our game. Woodmore 110, Whitehall 90. Lots of points to give away. And Craig, start us out.
Can we get body systems for 10, please?
Body assistance for 10 points. Teams, what two symbols are found both on the RH factors of your blood cells and the two poles on a battery? Two symbols. What you got?
Plus and minus.
Plus and minus, yeah, positive and negative. RH positive blood, RH negative blood, in addition to being AB, AB, or O. Good listening. Go red. 10 points behind. Carlington.
Let's get physical for 20, please.
Let's get physical for 20 points. And the lead if you get it right. If you've got a really dirty penny and you want to make it nice and sparkly and shiny, mix together vinegar and salt water and you'll be able to rub off all of the CuO. What kind of oxide that is on that penny? Whitehall.
Copper oxide.
Copper oxide. You got that right. Nicely done. Thank you, gentlemen, for your help. Go. You're in the lead.
Science potpourri for 20, please.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, many of the world's coral reefs are being damaged and destroyed by these kinds of pollutants that we throw away every day, like polyethylene, which is a kind of what, Woodmore?
Pastor Jewel.
Plastic.
Plastic. Got it. Thank you, Jewel. Nice answer. Go. Green.
Um,
You're back in the lead.
let's get physical for 25, please.
All right, the big one in that category. Let's get physical for 25. Teams, the sun has used this process to be able to burn for 4.5.
Fusion.
Fusion it is for 4.5 billion years. Thank you. Henry, good assist there. Go red.
Let's get physical for 10, please.
Physical for 10 points. Teams, there's an insect called the water strider. It can walk on water because water has what feature? Woodmore.
Density.
Not density. Whitehall, that water strider walks on water because of what feature?
Surface Surface tension.
Surface tension, absolutely right. Kind of a thin skin there on the top of the water. Good comeback. Go red.
Science potpourri for 10, please.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, the Greeks used to think that when a hippopotamus sweat, that it sweat blood because it saw this red stuff on its skin. It's actually an antiseptic. It's also a waterproofer, but it also has a high SPF value, so it protects the hippo from the what? Whitehall?
The sun.
The sun, yeah, it's a sunblock. It's a natural sunblock. Boy, if only we could produce that, you know. Why the hippos, not us. Go red. 165, 130. Still close. Come on, Craig, don't let them get away. Carlington.
Dateline science for 10, please.
Dateline science for 10 points. Teams, they recently found a new species of wasp, and they called it a dementor, after a very nasty character in what J.K. Rowling...
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter book, the Dementor, yes indeed. Took away all of your nice, happy memories, the Dementor did. Go red.
Zoo parade for 5, please.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, in Alice in Wonderland, the Queen of Hearts famously turned these pink birds upside down.
Flamingos.
Flamingos, and used them as croquet mallets. That's it. Good. Green.
Zoo parade for 25, please.
Zoo parade 25, big one in that category. Teams, it's a three-part answer. Three-part answer. Imagine you're a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout. You're in the woods. You're trying to find an animal. What are some of the things that might lead you to that animal? What are some of the things that might lead you to that animal?
Pass to
Okay, I'll need 3 viable things. Judges are going to be listening here. Whitehall, have 3 for me in case I have to come to you. Who's going to be my spokesperson over there? Are yours to find that animal? What are some things that might lead you to it?
Footprints, smells, and signs, like scratches on trees.
Absolutely right. Good answer. 25 points for Woodmore. Go. Green. Also dung. Some of the droppings, the spore, would also be useful to you. 175, 160. Woodmore, you choose.
Dateline science for 15, please.
Dateline science for 15 points. Teams, there was a man, a scientist by the name of Jacques Cousteau. He was on television. He invented the aqualung. He sailed the 7 seas, and he inspired a lot of young people like you to go into what branch of science?
Pass to Jewel.
Woodmore.
Marine biology.
Judges? Yes. Yes, marine biology or oceanography. We will take both. Good. Either. Go green.
Let's get fit. Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, if you drink a can of V8, you have drunk 8 liquefied whats?
Vegetables.
Vegetables. V8. Good. Woodmore.
Let's do Dateline science for 20.
Dateline science for 20 points. Teams, the only reason why we human beings can decipher hieroglyphics is because we discovered this stone. Whitehall, name that stone.
I passed to Tannery.
The Rosetta Stone.
Rosetta, that's it. Yes, sir, young man. Go. Red.
Okay. Body systems for 5, please.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, this sounds strange. Listen now. You eat with your eyes. Yeah. And when you're sitting down to dinner, you taste with your Whitehall.
Your nose.
Your nose, exactly right. If you can't smell it, you don't want to eat it. Go red.
Let's get physical for 5, please.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Ganymede is the biggest moon in our solar system, and it appropriately orbits what biggest planet? Whitehall?
Jupiter.
Jupiter, that's right, the big boy in the club. Good, go.
Science potpourri for 5, please.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Entomology is the study of insects. Entomophagy is doing this with insects. Woodmore?
Pass to I use.
Dissecting?
Not dissecting them. Entomophagy is doing this to insects. He says, I have no idea.
Studying.
Eating them. Eating them. Eating bugs. Entomophagy. Go red. 205, 180. Carlington, go.
Dateline science for 5, please.
Dateline science for 5 points. Teams. Archaeologists have recently found a 10,000-year-old one of these, the first ever.
Pass to Jewel.
Mummies?
No, not mummies. Whitehall, 10,000-year-old one of these. The color that they found of it was red, unlike the ones today that are burnt sienna, dandelion, and carnation pink. among others.
I pass it to Henry.
Sarcophagus?
They're crayons.
Crayons.
Crayons. A 10,000-year-old crayon, the very first one. Go red.
Green things for 20, please.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, you probably never thought about this, but when plants are dehydrated and water pressure drops, this tube that carries water up from the soil, Whitehall.
I pass it to Henry.
Xylem?
Xylem, yes, it gets air bubbles in there like an embolism and can spell the death of the plant. Go red.
Zoo parade for 20, please.
Zoo parade for 20 points. All right, teams, look at that score. Woodmore, you need to get them all. Don't give up on me. You can get all these. Don't give up. Zoo parade for 20 points. Teams, snakes breathe like we do. They have lungs. But their lungs only work if they expand and compress and contract their rib cage. They don't have what large muscle underneath.
No.
What you got?
Pass to Jewel.
Their lungs.
Not their lungs, no. Whitehall, what large muscle that we have beneath our lungs that lets us breathe are missing in snakes?
Diaphragm.
It is indeed the diaphragm. Good answer. Okay, go red.
Body systems for 25, please.
Big question in the body system for 25 category. Teams, when the Zika virus was afflicting many babies, they came out with small heads. It's called microcephaly. Spell microcephaly. All right, Whitehall, who's going to be my speller? Whitehall will spell microcephaly, which means small head.
I pass it to Kurt.
All right, Kurt, front and center, young man. Take your time.
Microcephaly.
Say it again.
Microcephaly.
Okay.
M-I-C-R-O-S-E-P-H-I-L-I-E.
Ooh, good try. M-I-C-R-O-C-E-P-H-A-L-O-P-Y. All right. Sorry, good try. All right, Red, you still have the advantage. 2 questions left. Go ahead, Carlington.
Science potpourri for 25, please.
Potpourri for 25 points, 3-part answer. It is said that a postman will not stay from his appointed rounds because of 3 weather conditions. In addition to gloom of night, what things will not keep the mailman from delivering your mail? 3 weather conditions.
Rain, snow, or hail. I pass it to Henry.
Okay,
Rain,
Henry.
snow, or hail?
Good try. Come on, Woodmore.
Pass to Ayush.
Okay, yours.
Hurricane, snow, and tsunamis?
That was a good try. Yeah, you're talking about the really bad ones. It's rain and snow and heat in addition to gloom of night. All right, the buzzer says our game is over here. It looks like Whitehall is headed to the semifinals. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. A remarkable day here on Science Bowl. Look at those scores. That means our students knew a lot. Not only are they smart kids, but they're great sports. We're proud of all of them today. Our final tally is Woodmore 180, Whitehall 245. Whitehall, you're headed to the semifinals. Kurt and Carlington and Henry, yeah, give them a hand. Miss Farmer, Miss Wine, congratulations. We've got 3 alternates over there, Conrad and Vincent and Mark. We're going to see you as one of the final 4. And Woodmore, I know you guys are feeling kind of miserable right now, but you shouldn't. This is your 4th time this year, and you played so well each and every time. And if you had to lose, and you're all winners, you lost to a wonderful team here today. Jewel and Craig and Ayush and Ginseng, congratulations. Miss Walker, Mr. De La Serna, let's give them a hand as well. Super job. And Ayush, you're a 4th grader. I want to see you for a couple more years, all right? And I want to see you next time on our next edition of Science Bowl. We'll see you then, everybody. Bye-bye.